Hola, Mr. Lee here. Alright, here's number 11 and 12. Directions are find x such that f of x equals 0. So we're going to have to factor these problems, solve for the x values when your y values equal to 0. If you just analyze real quick the difference between 11 and 12, 11 is a quadratic, so we should be able to factor this a little bit more simply. Number 12, you have a cubic. We're probably going to have to use synthetic division to find some roots. Okay, so let's set the y value equal to 0, or your function value. And if we can factor this, we can apply zero product property to solve for these x values. Okay, so I'm going to use the guess and check method. We should be able to split this up into the product of two binomials, right? You guys might use the AC method or the X box method. Okay, that also works. I'm going to use the guess and check method. So we know that the first two terms, if we're reversing this and testing our distribution, we should have 3x and x. Right? The only factors of 3 are 3 and 1. So for sure the first terms have to be 3x and x. And then the last two terms have to be factors of negative 10. I'm just going to guess here. Let's just go like, I don't know, minus 5 and plus 2, right? Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Okay? And trial and error is perfectly okay. You might not get on the first try, but you can make adjustments as you go, right? So I'm going to do the distribution check down here. Distribution check. And what I mean by that is I'm just going to multiply this out and see if I get the original, right? There should be 4 combos when you distribute. You have 3x squared. You have plus 6x minus 5x minus 10, right? The first term and the last term should definitely match because we controlled that, right? 3x times x is 3x squared. Negative 5 times 2 is your negative 10. The middle term is what you're really checking, okay? So the 3x times 2 is your 6x. Minus 5 times x is your minus 5x. So this becomes 3x squared plus x minus 10. It clearly does not equate to the original, so we know we factored it incorrectly. Okay, but we can make an adjustment here. Let's try a minus 2 and plus 5, right? So now the middle terms are going to be what? 15x and minus 2x. Ah, there we go. There's our plus 13x. Okay, so these last 3 lines are just a check. This is our factored form. Okay, so now we just have to solve this for the zeros. We've factored it successfully. Let me actually erase this guy now. Okay, so this splits into your zero product property. I can say 3x minus 2 equals 0, or an x plus 5 equals 0. If you solve it out, you'll get, 3x equals 2. So x equals 2/3, or x equals negative 5. Okay, so that's number 11. X equals 2/3, negative 5. Let's go to number 12 now. Okay, so this one's not as simple. We have a cubic, so we're going to have to apply some synthetic division. So if you remember how your synthetic division works, you have to test roots, okay? It's very tedious. Sometimes you get lucky and you find it quickly. Sometimes you don't get lucky and you find it slowly. But the possible roots are based off this last p value and this first q value, right? So you can actually have possible roots of all the factors of 32 over all the factors of 32 and then over all the factors of 1. There's an invisible 1 here, okay? So I'm just going to list the possible factors. Hopefully we're not going to have to test them all. This is p over q, which is all the factors of 32 over the factors of 1. So you could have all of this business. Let's see, what else is there? 16, 32. I think I listed them all. Okay, so there's what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. There's 12 combos we could potentially test. If we get really unlucky, we're going to get to like a 10th or 11th, 12th guess. Hopefully it's not going to be that bad. Okay, so I just have a little template here of how we do our synthetic division. Let's just start from the very top. So positive 1. Right, our expression is x cubed minus 8x squared, right? We're just taking the coefficients here and then applying synthetic division. So you can add on the way down. 1 plus 0 is 1. Multiply it by your tested root. That's going to be 1. Negative 8 plus 1 is negative 7. Take your negative 7 times 1. That's negative 7. Add down. Negative 11. Negative 11 times 1. Negative 11. We have a remainder, which means 1 is not a root. Right? So your remainder, what, is a 21. So we're looking for the remainder of 0 to prove that this is a root. 1 is not a root. Let's try negative 1 now. Okay. 1 plus 0 is 1, times by negative 1. We add these down, we get negative 9 now. Negative 9 times negative 1 is positive 9. Negative 4 plus 9 is 5. 5 times negative 1, negative 5. This gives us another remainder. What is it, 27? So we know that negative 1 is not a root. Okay, let's keep testing. I'm going down this list. I'm at positive 2 now. So 1, negative 8, negative 4, 32. Add down, times it by your tested root. Negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6. Times it by 2, we get negative 12. Add down, negative 16. Here we go. Negative 16 times 2 is negative 32. This is what we want, right? So we got the remainder of 0, which means I should be able to now factor f of x into your tested root, which was 2, right? If your tested root is 2, that becomes x minus 2, right? Because you plug in a positive 2 here minus 2, you get the 0. And then this translates into now coefficients of 1, negative 6, and negative 16. It should be a quadratic, x squared minus 6x minus 16. Okay. And then at the same point, we can set this equal to 0, actually. Right? So we don't have to continue synthetic because we have a quadratic left. We should be able to split this up into 2 more binomials. So we're going to go like this, right? I'm just trying to split this guy into 2 more. So first terms have to be x and x. And then same thing. I'm doing the guess and check method. Hopefully you guys will pick this up a little bit more easily now. I'm going to find 2 numbers that multiply to get negative 16. At the same time, they add up to the negative 6, right? So that winning combo should be a minus 8 and a plus 2, okay? So you might have to do some trial and error on that, but perfectly okay. You just want to make sure you're matching the distribution. Okay, so again, x squared minus 6x minus 16 will factor into here. You can double check the distribution. But once we get the factor form, now we have our 0 product property again, right? So x minus 2 equals 0, or x plus 2 equals 0, or x minus 8 equals 0, which just gives you 2, negative 2, positive 8. So there you have it.